Shout out to the caller coming all the way from Canada, the Great White North. Hopefully, someone does not get triggered by me saying the Great White North. All right, who do we have on the line here?
This is former President Barack Hussein Obama.
Oh boy.
That's okay. You don't have to salute.
No, I wasn't going to salute, not at all. But what brings you to ABO Live? I figured you'd be busy on the anti-Trump campaign trail.
Well, I was listening to your show last week, Anthony, and I believe in your response to the Pope's call to you, you said you would wish your dream is President Trump will call you, and I can't quite make that happen, but this is pretty close. So I hope the emotion is coursing through you at talking to America's last president.
I mean, no, I'm actually pretty good right now. I'm just chilling. There's not really a whole lot of emotion. I'm not one of these guys that cry when you get elected, so it's all good.
Well, in any case, I know that there's a lot of news going on, so how about we move through some of these topics?
Hey, let's go for it.
So Senator McCain was a great person. There were a lot of wars that I kind of did that he didn't get to, so you're welcome, John. And I hope that eventually we'll get a president that gets through some of the wars that we didn't get to do for him. So see you later.
Well, okay. So you're a fan of the warmongering that John McCain was involved with. That was a good accomplishment.
I'm not saying that I'm a fan of it. I'm in public. I'm just saying that if he can't get it done, you got to get it done somehow.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
And in any case, I'd like to say it's been a while, and I'd like to get this off of my chest. So everybody thinking that I really supported Hillary Clinton in 2016, you have to understand, I got all of my lying skills watching her talk during 2008 campaign. So I had to thank her somehow. And let me give you one example. She went on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and she opened the pickle jar right in front of him. Now, I, for example, I know that's a lie. How do I know that? Hillary used to eat over at our house, and she used to see that I don't open the pickle jar like everybody else. I have Michelle do it.
Okay, I mean, come on. Like, I know your wife is, pretty strong. She looks like she could, beat you in her head with bare hands and knock you out. But come on, how do you feel when your wife is opening up jars and you just sitting back like, does she also change the tires when you have a flat on the side of the road?
I feel great. It's this is the first person who taught me how to have somebody else do things I should do for myself.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's pretty much, thanks to Michelle, that's the way I behaved during my entire 8 years of office.
Hey, I'm glad you're able to come on this live show and admit that, because that's exactly what it seemed like was going on. You were just pretty much paraded out there in your game show suit, and they tell you what to say and you say it rather than leaning from the front like the current president is doing.
Anthony, I think you're not appreciating all the accomplishments we had. Don't you think that all those parties with Bradley Cooper were a lot of fun? I mean, come on.
I don't know anything about those parties, so I'm just going to move on from that. But what accomplishments are we speaking of here, sir? I can't really recall it on top of my head right now.
So I believe I was on Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis. A lot of fun. That was a great day. Kind of picked me up from all the failures in the war with ISIS that day. There was also that time I appeared on The Ellen Show and, danced like an idiot. Or perhaps that might have been my quote-unquote wife. And also there was that time I went to throughout the first pitch and almost made it the whole way to the plate.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was funny. You had this lady that went out there and pitched a perfect ball. Yeah, she pretty much put you to shame, man. But continue.
We feel very sensitive about mentioning ladies and balls in my household, so please refrain from the comments. So yeah, that's a lot of bullet points right there, Anthony. What do you have to rebut that?
I mean, it don't really seem like he had, a lot of real accomplishments. You're talking about television appearances. I don't really take that as an accomplishment. It seems like self-aggrandizement, more like you're trying to be a celebrity, like a real housewife, rather than the U.S. president. So when you're talking about accomplishments, you should be speaking more of, trade deals, employment, that kind of thing.
You mean like the guaranteed health care I got for all Americans?
No, I think that was what was maybe alluded to in the beginning, but that is not what we received.
Wait, so are you trying to suggest that I betrayed all of my progressive followers?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. I mean, have you seen this walk away campaign? A lot of people are upset with you. They said that they voted for you in 2008, like I did, and then you did not deliver. So now they've left the entire Democratic Party. How do you feel about being responsible in part for the demise of the Democratic Party?
I disagree with your assessment of that. I believe the walkaway campaign is part of the fitness initiative of my wife Michelle.
No. That's the fitness. These people aren't just walking because they want to get fit. They're walking because they're done with the Democratic Party.
And if they get fit in the process, they can write a thank you note to Michelle at the library. By the way, we have a massive library being built in Chicago. You're welcome, Chicago. Finally, and the walls are bulletproof. If you want to come take shelter, I know that is an issue in Chicago, and I, like everybody else, when I go there, if I go there, I suffer through the same sort of danger of being shot by some guy trying to steal my Nikes. But I mean, everybody has to suffer through it the same way as I do, right?
Not quite. I mean, don't you have Secret Service protection for your entire life? What about just a regular, everyday civilian out there in the street who does not have the luxury of having the bulletproof vehicle, library, Secret Service, the whole 9 yards?
Yeah, tell them to sell out to the oil companies and run for president, and they can have it too. What's the problem?
Hey, maybe so, but that's kind of like a shot in the dark. So I think you should loosen up those gun laws in Chicago, or at least ask your buddy Rahm Emanuel to loosen up the gun laws so the average civilian will be able to protect themselves away from all the criminals that live in your city.
Well, listen, I mean, I talk to Rahm every single week, and in between hearing all of his stories about, how Citibank Field is basically, or U.S. Bank Field is basically empty, whatever, U.S. Cellular Field. I don't even remember what Chicago looks like anymore. So, I mean, look, you guys have to understand that why do you need a gun? All you need to do is create some sort of gas-activated ballistic motion device and call it something else, and maybe you can solve the problem that way.
I don't know. I doubt it's going to really work. I don't think that's really going to be a solution to the issue. Just loosen up the gun laws, have that be it, and then just move on from there.
No, I mean, look, that's the way just like before I was president, I was always for gay marriage because weirdly, I always appeared to be sensitive to the issue of getting married to another man. I don't know why people attribute that to me, but it seems to stick around me. So I came up with this nonsense workaround called the civil union. And people believed my nonsense and the fact that I couldn't admit that I was for it. So eventually the court system worked it out, and I didn't have to do anything, just like the pickle jar. Remember that earlier analogy? So in this case, all you have to do is create some sort of ballistic projectile device and call it something else. Instead of calling it a gun, you call it a Pew-Pew Make Die machine, and people will just be fine, and nothing will happen. And Mayor Emanuel will get another term, and everybody will be happy. Don't you think so?
I don't know if that's going to be if that's going to work out, but I got to get to a few more calls, Mr. Obama. I know you got to go back to the campaign trail and do your whole anti-Trump thing. So I'll leave it to you.
Absolutely. And for personal contributions, you can write to the library, or you can buy the patented Obama Pew-Pew Make Die machine, now on sale at Etsy. And have a good night, Anthony. And hopefully next week a celebrity that you actually appreciate will come on.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Good night.